I'm Lerner, BrooklynPhotoWorks.com, and the portfolio website critiques are back. And this week we are back with a nice portfolio website from a young 23-year-old photographer from Istanbul, Turkey named Ozan. And his website is what looks to be a collection of individual photo stories all shot on film with old manual film cameras. How cool is that, man? You know how much I love film, and Ozan has dedicated his photography to that. Now, there is some not safe for work stuff in his gallery, so if any of you guys are not cool with nudity, I would turn this video off right now. However, I think that the nudes that he does have in his gallery are very tastefully shot, and I'm happy to share this with you. From what I can tell, just looking at this offhand by the links up at the top, we know that he's using a Tumblr blog style website. I don't think that there's anything wrong with this, but I do feel that there are some things about the way his site is laid out that are not doing his work justice, and maybe that's the limitation of the theme, maybe it's the limitation of Tumblr, I don't know, but at the same time, I really dig his work, so let's dig in. Now, when you hover over any one of these individual galleries, which we'll get to soon, you see he has a name for the gallery, and he's got the camera that it was shot with, and then the film that was used shooting it. You can see he shoots with a Kiev, he shoots with a Zenit, both Russian film cameras, a Zeiss Icon Iconta. I don't even know what these are, a Lubitel too. Anyway, all different kinds of film, all different kinds of cameras, very cool. I'm sure you guys can go to his site and you can Google search to see what these cameras are like if you think any of them might be cool for you and you wanted to try to check out shooting with some film. But let's dig right into this first set called Ease. So here's a photo set he shot with, I'm going to guess a model wearing kind of a provocative outfit in a really, really pretty location. I like the way that the images transition from day to night. And I like the overall vibe. I mean, the thing about Ozan is that he's telling stories with his photography, and that he's not just giving you a collection of random images, but he's giving you a little photo story based on, I guess, whatever the shoot that he did on that particular day. Here, let's check out Inertia. And this is another shoot with a model, and you can see the imperfections of the film. You can see like that kind of light leak cast that he has on there. I think it looks really, really fantastic. The skin tones are terrific. There's just something about shooting film that can't be beat. I also really like kind of how he's worked with this model. You can see that there's possibly, some of her own that she's bringing to this. He's obviously thinking about his composition. You can see how beautifully this is framed. He goes on to say in his about page that he doesn't manipulate his images other than resizing them for the web, which, I think is kind of cool. Like, for example, if you click on an image, look at the size of the image you can get. Now, with this image, I don't know if you guys can tell, but our model is out of focus. Now, he's shooting with a film camera that's manual focus. You can see that the focus is like right here on the front of the sofa, but he misfocused on the model. I think for a shot like this, that the focus on the model is important. I mean, it looks great, and that's the cool thing about images that are small. They look sharper, but when you start to really dig in, you can tell that the focus is missed. The focus on here is a little soft, but that could also be the way that the light's leaking in. And it also is a function of using older cameras, older lenses, etc. But we've got really nice light, and look at how the fall off is. He's shooting really shallow, really wide. The light coming through the hair. I mean, there's a certain kind of evocative nature of this. Like, look at the brightness of this one with the contrast and the darkness of this one. All of the nuggets of information are in there. Really, really cool stuff. There's something I like about this. It's provocative. I mean, she's got her back to the camera there, and she's kind of just positioned in this scene. Just really wonderful stuff. He really has a good sensibility for working with his subjects. Let's look at the first gallery again, and look at that one a little bigger. And I'll click on the image there, and you can see now we can look at these a little bit bigger. Yeah, just wonderful focus. I mean, look at well, bokeh, I should say. And there's just so much going on in here. There's so many nuggets. I mean, it really isolates the subject in such a cool way. Love what's going on with just the expression, kind of like the youth culture that's going on here. Really, really neat stuff. I mean, just so subtle and just a terrific eye. I mean, this guy's got a really good eye for stuff. Let's grab another one called Relapse. And, I'm kind of curious to know a little bit more about these people. This guy, who knows, maybe he's a model, maybe he's a shop owner. I'm going to guess he's a model. These are, I mean, look at that. Look at the color, look at the framing, look at the great expression, look what the guy's wearing. These are very editorial, kind of magazine-y type of stuff. I mean, this is really, really terrific stuff. I think that there's a good bit of editing that Ozan could benefit from, in that I think that within all of these sets, I usually see about like 3 or 4 that I think are really good, maybe 1 or 2 that are really, really good, and then a couple that could be maybe cut out of the sets. Like, for example, in this photo set, like, to me, this could be an outtake because the smile just seems a little bit funny. I don't like the pineapple shot here either. This one doesn't do it for me as well either. This one's kind of cool. We were missing focus. This one I love. This one I think is probably the strongest image in the set. That one's kind of cool, though we've kind of missed focus on that as well. This one's interesting, but it's maybe not the strongest. I like this one. I like the expression. So you see what I'm saying? And I think that that's kind of true with all of these sets here, that there's some really good ones, and then there's a couple that maybe are not as strong. I guess he's shot with the same model here. The same kind of deal. There's some that are really strong, and then there's some that are just not quite as strong. And I think that that's what editing is about. Obviously, Ozan's decided to only choose, a handful of images from each shoot with us. But even within that, I think he could tone it down a little bit. Like, let's look at this set here. Now we're into 35 millimeter format. I mean, the focus on this is fantastic. The skin tones are great. It's a really fantastic shot. This one I don't like as much, or this one, but they all kind of go in that lifestyle thing. I think this one's cool, but if this bar had kind of been more on her nose and we could see at least some more of her eye, I think that would be a little more effective. Hands are a little out of focus over here, and for me, a shot like this, it should be about the hands. So again, in a set like this is the keeper. That's the strongest shot of the bunch. Out of the other shots in there, I would say maybe this one, and that would be it. And what I'm finding with Ozan's work is I feel like the guy has a lot of great stuff, but maybe could benefit from an editor. These reflected light shots are really cool. That's really cool with the pigeons over there. You got all kinds of stuff going on. You go one walking this way and the other's down there. There's something really neat about that. Same thing with the reflections going on in here, although I don't know if I like that one as much. This one's interesting, but I'm not getting enough of context out of the background, or I don't know, there's something about that I don't like as much. And I don't know why we've got 2 of these, I mean, unless it's like this one has a dark portion at the top and this one's dark at the bottom, but maybe of the 2, this one's stronger, but this one's great. I think this is fantastic. It almost looks like a double exposure. Same with this one. That's really cool. And this is fantastic. I love all of what's going on with that, with the people walking and the street and all the chair detail down here. I think that's really super cool. This kind of looks like an album cover. Very cool. So again, with this photo set, I would say that there's a few images like this one, that I would probably cut. I'd probably cut that one. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with these images. I just think that when you have really strong images in your website portfolio, the images that are not as strong will take away from the strong ones, or at least they do for me. Like, for example, this shot of the guy walking with his portfolio on his phone is not nearly as strong as the one of him sitting here with the cigarette. This is the standout shot for me, whereas this image it's blurry, it's out of focus, it's not really working. This one's blurry, out of focus, not really working. That's the shot right there. Great skin tones, great, overall composition. This one's kind of cool, particularly if it's about a cafe, because you've got the paper, the hands, and all the details that you would have if you were sitting at a cafe. This one's all right, but again, we've missed focus on our subject, and we've got the newspaper in focus, whereas it would be stronger if he were in focus and the newspaper was a little soft. This one works, although I'm not crazy about the hand being cut off over there. And again, this one is just, unfortunately, we got focus on the signs, but we missed focus on our subject. And I think that that's really important. Same thing here. We got focus on the flower over here, but not on our subject. And paying the bill, unless it's a lifestyle piece for, a cafe or for shopping or something, I'm not, it doesn't seem as strong. I don't understand why this one even needs to be in there. So out of this photo set right here, my favorite and the strongest is this one. And, I'm finding that a lot in his work. And I think that, oftentimes when you create a lot of work, it doesn't hurt to sit down and really edit, to really go through these images. This is a neat set right here. And again, if I were to look at all of these, I would say I like this one. I like the tattoo and the birds kind of, being kind of thematically tied together. The light on this one's a little bit overexposed. I don't feel I feel like both of these they're a little bit candid-y feeling. I kind of like this one. I like how it's a little soft focus, the background's blown out. I'm not really sure about the flowers. I mean, I know they all kind of go in, they work together, and there's definitely a thematic, thing involved over here. Let's see this set here. It still has that real lifestyle-y vibe, and I would say out of these shots here, there's something I like about this shot here. I wish she was making eye contact with the camera. This one's kind of cool. I like the carefree vibe. And that she's wearing the camera over there. I like the light and dark, the way she's kind of framed up on that with her shadow. Let's see. Yeah, that kind of works for me too. I like the feet. I think those are nice. I don't really think the solo foot works that well. This one kind of works, and look at that crazy bokeh that we got going on over there. And this one's cool too. And again, I would honestly say that out of this set, you could maybe just narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 images to keep it really, really strong and really, really crisp. Let's see. Well, I'm just going to kind of randomly pick a few more. Okay. Kind of a sexy, provocative set over here. I like the shot of her looking in the mirror. I think that's cool. I think there's something really nice about this shot too. I love the kind of symmetry, of the girl's, her face right here and her hair, the nice shine that's kind of happening over there. This one, as a dude, how could you not like that? It's still kind of cool, it kind of fits into the whole vibe of things, the real selectively shot. This one doesn't really do it for me, and it doesn't really feel like the strongest shot as an opener. If I were to open this set or even kind of highlight something, I would probably open with this shot right here because I just feel like it's stronger and more compelling. Let's see. We can go down into these are the nudes one. These are all nice. They're all nice studies in form. I think that the least effective one is this one here, and only because there's really just not a lot of stuff going on with the body, whereas this one, there's some really nice soft focus. The body looks great. It has a very painterly look about it. This one, it just kind of has that candid vibe. Same with this one. I'm not crazy about the angle, although this one I think is really nice. Again, with really great lines, great geometry. You've got like the table and the skin, kind of similar skin, similar tones, really cool stuff. So one thing I noticed when I went to Ozan's page here is that he was featured in some magazines. So let's say we go to this quiet front, and I have a point here. Actually, that's not the one I wanted. C41. And if we go to this and we scroll across, we can see that these guys, they curated kind of a gallery of his images and put images together that seem to kind of be more cohesive and make more sense as a whole. And that's what I kind of feel like Ozan needs to do, is to go through and maybe create, a handful of photo sets that kind of really tie it in more cohesively as groups of different work. The other thing I find about this website is like having to, click into a page and then scroll down and then click on something to go big and then do this, to kind of advance images, and then have to close that out. I feel like it's a little cumbersome, and I think that if the site was really easy to navigate and the galleries were really, really well laid out, I think that it would be a more effective site to be able to get through. No, there's nothing wrong with this. Maybe there's another theme that's available. Or maybe, even a Squarespace site. Guys, I can't recommend it enough, man. Go on, 14-day free trial, boom, you've got a website up and running. I would love to see Ozan build a trial website and just send me a note and say, hey, dude, I did an edit. I've got a trial website. It's really easy to navigate. The images are huge. What do you think? And the same thing I encourage for all of you guys. So there you have it. Ozan from Istanbul, Turkey. Really, really nice work. I love that you're working in analog film using old vintage cameras. I love the look of these images. I think you've got a terrific eye. I think there's tremendous potential in the work that you're creating, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of your work, and hoping that maybe at some point you'll take the time and put the work together in a format that maybe is just a little bit more user-friendly, let's say, because again, I think your work really stands on its own, and would love to see it in a way that I can navigate it more easily. And instead of having to go from a thumbnail to a big image, thumbnail to big image, just really starting off with those nice big images and being able to see them as a whole. If you guys want your website or portfolio website to be critiqued, just send an email with the subject to BrooklynPhotoWorks@gmail.com and put in the subject portfolio critique or website critique. If you guys have signed up for a Squarespace trial account and you want me to critique that, I will prioritize it if you put trial in the subject, because I know that the trial will only last for 14 days. That's it for now. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. From BrooklynPhotoWorks.com, I'll see you soon.